All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon session of Compilation and Optimization 1, for some reason. And our first presentation will be formally verifying optimizations by block simulations with Chamois and Comcert by Sylvain Boulmé. So let him take it away.
Thanks. So I'm Sylvain from Grenoble, and on the behalf of my co-authors, I will present some of our formally verified optimization within Chamois, an extension of the Comcert compiler. So Comcert is the first formally verified C compiler. It provides a proof in the Coq proof assistant that its generated assembly code behaves as the source. So the simulation is decomposed into several passes. Each pass is a transformation from one representation of the program into another one, possibly the same, but with optimizations. And each representation consists in an abstract syntax with an operational semantics given as a transition system. Because in Comcert backends, all these semantics are deterministic, the correctness of a pass corresponds to a forward simulation as pictured on the slide. So within this framework, Comcert provides some formally verified optimizations, such as register allocation, common sub-expression elimination, constant propagation, and a few others. But some optimizations are still missing, and generated code is slower than the one of GCC-01. So with Chamois, we try to improve this situation while remaining within this framework of forward simulations. So here is a view on Comcert backend. So each box here represents a language, and each arrow represents one or several passes. So the last language is ASM. It's an abstraction axiomatized in Coq of the target assembly language. Today I will focus on RTL, which is the last language before register allocation. It thus provides an unbound number of pseudo-register, which is very convenient for many optimizations. So here are the main extensions provided by Chamois. So at the very end of the backend, we introduced scheduling passes for in-order pipeline processors. This is described in a previous paper. Today, I will focus on BTL, our new representation for optimizing loops with, for example, superblock scheduling, code motion, strength reduction, and so on. So while RTL represents function as a control flow graph of instructions, BTL represents them as a control flow graph of blocks, where a block is a loop-free sequence of RTL instruction with a single entry point from the other blocks. This enables to prove forward simulation between BTL programs, block step by block step. So BTL is also designed for translation validation, and here is the general architecture of a pass involving BTL. So from any source S, a not trusted oracle transform it into target program T, along with hints for validation. So the formally verified validator takes three inputs, S, T, and the hints, and either it proves the simulation or it aborts the compilation with an error message. Our BTL-based optimization only use two validators. So the second one validates optimization within BTL. It uses symbolic execution and invariants provided by oracles at block entries. The first one validates translation from RTL to BTL and back. Indeed, on a translation from RTL to BTL, while selecting blocks, we may apply some code unfoldings, and conversely, when returning back to RTL, we may refold the code. So both these transformations are validated by the same validator using CFG morphism given by the oracle. So now I sketch the idea of CFG morphism on the loop unfoldings of this CFG above into one of the CFG below. So each of these CFG is actually obtained by duplicating some nodes of the source CFG, and each node has a unique label written as a source label with an index. So the CFG morphism simply consists in recovering the source label from the target label. Then the validator simply checks that the morphism preserves the successorship relation in the CFG, and of course that each node and its image contain the same instruction. This ensures a bisimilation between the two CFG. Thus, the same CFG morphism can both validate the code unfolding and the code refolding. So our main validator compares two BTL programs blocks by blocks. It ensures that each source block is simulated by the corresponding target block modulo the invariance provided by the oracle. Technically, for each block, it computes a symbolic state resulting from the symbolic execution of the block after an initialization deduced from the invariance at the block entry. Then, after normalization of the two symbolic states, it checks that they match with respect to the exit invariance. So, for example, let us schedule this function on Cortex ARM A53. So this processor has in-order dual-issue pipeline, and we leverage its instruction-level parallelism by interleaving two successive iterations of the loop. So first, we unroll and rotate the loop body. Here, only the two main blocks are represented. So the block started at .L is a big loop body containing two iterations of the source loop. And the block at .exit simply returns the result. Then we rename with fresh names the register assigned in the first iteration. This requires to insert compensation code here in red at the first exit. Then we move the floating point operation of the first iteration below the first exit, and we interleave them with those of the second iteration. This requires to add new compensation code at the first exit. Finally, the schedule code is 30% faster than the original order here. Moreover, the schedule code simulates the code on the left here, modulo live register. In other words, for our superscheduling optimization, the invariants simply express that target live register coincide with those of the source, and that's all. As a second example, let us optimize this RISC-V code on the right, which comes from the source code on the left. So here, because because the load of immediate 7 in register X5 is loop invariant, we can anticipate it before the loop. This is code motion. Second, because on RISC-V, there are only a few addressing mode, storing at X uses 3 instructions here. But we may factorize the computation of the address here in teal color across iterations. And this is strength reduction. So here, we simply move these 3 instructions before the loop and add this compensation code, which updates the computation of the address at each iteration. Okay? So here, the invariants, they simply remind the anticipated computations on live register. And our validator prove the simulation after normalization of affine forms. As a conclusion, I will quickly look at Chamois performance. So here we measured the compile times of Chamois and observed that it scales on a very large benchmark. We also compare the execution times of Chamois with respect both official CompCert and GCC -01 on several architecture. So here I only show the case for RISC-V. So here each column here corresponds to a test suite. Okay, so there are several benchmarks in each test suite. The line 0 corresponds to represent the execution time of mainline CompCert, and the bars they represent the gain with respect this execution time. So higher is better. So in violet, these are the gain of GCC -01 with respect mainline CompCert, and in green, this is the gain of Chamois with respect mainline CompCert. So Chamois is still a bit behind on RISC-V GCC -01, but it's closing the gap. So here is my take-home message. So translation validation is very great for formally verified compiler. First, it enables simple proofs. Second, it enables efficient oracles. And 3, the same validator may be able to prove many transformations. So this is modular design. But some key hints for validation are much easily found by oracles. So our solution is to co-design validators and oracles. Thanks for your attention.
All right, if you have any questions, please come up to the mic. So one question I have is we're closing the gap to GCC 01, but what is the gap to GCC 03? Both in terms of raw performance, but also in terms of like, what are the kinds of optimization passes that are more difficult to formally verify that you're thinking about are really critical to implement as next steps?
So, already with GCC -01, it is sometimes difficult to compete because in the intermediate representation, GCC knows much more things about the types, for example, than in COMCERT. So, for example, the alias analysis of GCC can exploit strict aliasing, and we actually currently we cannot do this in COMCERT because we have not kept the type information along the compilation chain. So this is an example. So after, for example, GCC -03 is very aggressive in inlining, but this is difficult to be so aggressive without taking the risk to explode the code size. So yeah, that seems tricky.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions from the audience? Yeah.
Do you have any idea about would it be possible if you compare the size, not only the performance?
Sorry,
the size, the binary size.
I'm a bit deaf, so could you speak a bit?
Would it be possible that you are also competitive to GCC in terms of the final binary size instead of the performance?
Okay, so we actually currently, yeah, the size of our binary is a little bigger, yeah, maybe sometimes quite bigger than GCC -01. So currently, we do not optimize so much, just a bit. I told a bit of code refolding. Sometimes performing optimization also has the effect to reduce the code size, but currently we do not optimize the code size. So this is for future work.
So in terms of type-based alias analysis, there are a lot of problems with undefined behavior. In general, how do you, you can certify, or in terms of verifying correctness in cases where there's undefined behavior?
Sorry, we have to take the slides off.
So
Go and swap.
here, by definition,
Sorry, we have to swap the slides. You can narrate.
yeah, by definition, when you prove a forward simulation, you prove that you do not add undefined behavior. Okay?
Okay.
By definition of a forward simulation. Okay. And so we prove a forward simulation.
All right. Thank you for the questions, and let's thank our speaker.